Hey guys, it's Bro You Whack, and the Reaper meta is in full force right now. When Season 5 started, I would not have imagined that Reaper being so popular, especially even after the buffs that he did get. But not only did he get a buff, but because of the Roadhog nerfs, this just made him a whole lot better. And you're going to see later on this video, but for today's video, I did want to talk about the best comp that you can try to build around Reaper. Now, this won't be exactly like a guide per se, like how to play Reaper, the best times to play Reaper. Really, I just wanted to tell you some tips and just a little bit of some tricks that you have to remember when making a team comp with Reaper, because even though Reaper is a phenomenal hero right now, he still needs to be sustained. He still needs to be supported. It's sort of like when Bastion was taking over Season 4 right at the beginning. He was a great hero, but he had to be supported with certain type of other heroes. So I'm going to explain the heroes that you kind of need when playing Reaper, and also just a few little minute details that you have to remember when you go on a control map, because that's the maps that I usually play Reaper on. But even on like attack maps, like attack Volskaya or maybe defensive Hollywood, whatever the case may be, he can just perform and outshine a lot of other heroes just because of what his abilities allow him to do. But you also have to remember those abilities in any type of situation that you were in. So first, let's talk about the heroes and then talk about those small little details that you have to remember for Reaper. So when you're in the loading screen and you're all picking your heroes, obviously if you're going to try to build a team around Reaper, obviously you're going to need the Reaper. But what's something that just allows Reaper to perform so well and just at the best of his abilities? Well, there's only really two heroes that you really need, and there are other heroes that can also be added to the mix if the players can play them in the game. So the only two heroes that you really do need are a Zarya and a Mercy. The reason why a Zarya is so important, and these are kind of like must-pick kind of heroes, again, any type of team comp can work, but if you have a Mercy and a Zarya, oh, it's just gonna be so, like, just effective for what Reaper is supposed to do, because they're supposed to get in the enemy's face. Reaper has to be at the front lines, even past the Rhine, even past the Zarya, to be able to be effective with both of his shotguns. If he's not in, like, you know, smelling distance away and tickle distance away, he's not going to be that effective. So if Zarya is being able to put a bubble on Reaper, not only does he get protection, but Zarya also gets charged from that, and then Zarya can put a bubble around her and charge forward also. And more than likely, since you put a bubble around Reaper, he probably already took out a tank or two, maybe not two, or maybe he just put in a lot of damage just because he had that added protection. So it's similar to like the Bastion meta, how he has to have protection from the Rhine. You usually go with a Mercy and a Reinhardt because, well, you wanted to protect the president right there. Similar to this, however, he's going right in the enemy's face. So that's a little minute detail. I'm going to say that over and over again probably throughout this video, but that's just something that you have to remember, is that Reaper is most effective when he's literally in tickle distance with the enemy. If he's not going to be doing his job right, and he's not going to be getting any kills. With that added protection from Zarya, and if he's able to just be able to go off with his shotguns, he's able to go into Wraith form, go back in the back lines, and get healed for Mercy. This is where Mercy comes into play, because yes, she can power him up, but you know, I feel like 50% of the time you're not really going to be pocketing the Reaper. But luckily with his Wraith form, he's able to just pop his shotguns, go in the Wraith form, if he's taking too much damage, like if he has 50 HP, go back to the Mercy, and boom, he's fully healed right there. And he has a pretty big health pool that can charge Mercy's ultimate. And you already know how I feel about Mercy and the Mercy meta. She's one of the best healers in the game right now because she can just heal so fast. So just remember, those two heroes are just beautiful with a combination with Reaper because of the added protection and the added sustainability. Now, what are the other three heroes that you can pick if you already pick those three heroes, the Zarya, the Reaper, and the Mercy? Well, this is why it's so great, because, well, it can be so flexible. Reaper is a hero that he can sustain on his own. I'm not going to say here and like that he needs the Zarya and Mercy, but it's just so helpful to have those two heroes. But if they do, well, he doesn't really need anything else, so he can just be a lot more flexible with other team comps. But there are some heroes that can even help him a whole lot more, like a Zenyatta. Two reasons why. The Harmony Orb, well, he's going to be able to be sustained even more right there, and also the Discord Orb on the tanks. Oh my, he's just going to shred through Winston, shred through Divas, through Reinhardts. It's just going to be a field day with Reaper. He's going to have so much health because, well, I even forgot to mention this at the beginning of the video, but you guys already know about this. He gains 20 HP for every damage he inputs into an enemy. So if he gets 100 damage on the enemy, he gains 20 HP. That doesn't seem like a lot, but if he's constantly firing, which you should be, he's just going to be gaining so much health from that, plus the Zenyatta Orb and plus the Mercy healing. Oh my god, it is just going to be so amazing. And you see throughout this whole entire gameplay that I'm really not dying because, well, I'm just always firing into the tanks. And this is another minute detail that I have to remind you guys, is that you're going to see just whenever I play Reaper, I'm always going for the tanks. I'm always going for the D.Va. I'm always going for the Ryan. I'm always going for the Winston because, well, it's a 6v6. In turn, of course, it's not always going to work like this, but in turn, everybody really has a hero that they can kind of just battle one-on-one. And again, that's not always the case, but if I have an enemy, I'm going to focus on the tanks because, well, they're my health pack. They're going to heal me right there because I'm firing into them, and plus, well, I have a shotgun. I'm not really going to be focusing on, like, the Lucio or maybe the Tracer because, well, they're a lot smaller of a targets. That's mainly going to be for McCree or maybe Soldier. My job is to take out those tanks because I have the shotguns on the team. So just remember that. Just if you're going to be wanting sustainability, well, you not only have the Mercy, not only have the Zenyatta, but you also have health packs right there. The enemy, the D.Va, the Winston, the Ryan. It is just so beautiful how just the whole toolkit that Reaper does have, and people aren't taking full advantage of it, but now they kind of are because I just kind of told you right there. Now, what are the other two heroes? And again, this can be so, like, I cannot stress this enough. This is like a great team comp to try to build around Reaper because it can be so flexible and he can just kind of go off on his own if you want to just play heroes that aren't even related into the Reaper comp. So I kind of just threw two heroes into the mix. I threw a Winston because, well, his bubble allows Reaper just to have a little bit added protection if he wants to, like, go into Wraith form, get healed up, and just even fire it in right there because, well, if the more protection the better is how I kind of see it. Reaper, while he is a pretty solid hero as terms of his HP, he can still die if he is focused, even though there are a lot of ways that you can get out of a situation where he's probably going to die. But remember that a bubble can always help Reaper and can just even help other heroes too. And what's the last hero that you can't throw into the mix? It's just so amazing how flexible this team comp is, but I just threw in a Pharaoh because it's just logically thinking. If you have a Reaper right in front of you, and if you have a Pharaoh right above you, well, what is the enemy going to focus on? Oh, I can focus the Reaper, but then Pharaoh's just going to be dropping rockets on me. I can focus the Pharaoh, well, the Reaper is just going to gun me down right there. So that's why I kind of threw Pharaoh right there because, well, she's also a heavy DPS hitter, and since the D.Va probably is going to be eating so many rockets, then you're just going to have free fire. So again, it can be a Soldier, it can be a Genji, it could be, I don't know, another tank or whatever, but I kind of just went with like a 2-2-2 style, 2 DPS, 2 healers, and 2 tanks, the Winston and the Zarya. So just try to remember that when picking your heroes. If you see a Reaper, just remember those heroes because, well, they not only help the Reaper out, but also help the rest of the team out. The Mercy meta is in full effect. Zenyatta is just a great healer and a great DPS if you already have a great healer for the Mercy side of things. Winston has an awesome bubble and is just a great hero overall. I feel like Winston is getting used a whole lot more than back in the previous 3 other seasons. Zarya is a great hero because, well, she has added protection and also can deal out a lot of damage if you are able to get that charge, i.e. bubbling the Reaper, going in and then just coming out, and then you take his place with your bubble, get charged from there. You're able to eat the D.Va, you're able to eat the Genji, all that kind of thing. So it's just kind of cause and effect, working together as like a squad, just kind of gears are grinding together is how I kind of picture it. Everybody takes different spots, everybody just works together and just kind of meshes well. Everybody has a task and everybody just feeds off each other. And that's just a basic like tip video. Again, I wouldn't call it a guide video for Reaper. If you do want to see a video like that, let me know, but I really didn't tell you how to play. But just a key detail I just wanted to stress is that he's a shotgun hero. We've been playing with shotguns for so many years in CSGO and Call of Duty and Halo especially. You have to get up close and personal. You have to be able to just smell what they had for breakfast distance to be able to be so effective with Reaper. If you're even 5 feet away, it might work, but it would be so much better if you were just, 2 inches away because you're just able to load in bullets. And also remember that the tanks are your health pack. Not only do you have the Mercy, because you're going to even see throughout this whole entire gameplay, I rarely ask for heals because, well, I'm already sustaining myself, which is so beautiful and why I love Reaper because, well, if I maybe have a bad Mercy for whatever reason, because Mercy isn't the hardest hero to use, I believe, maybe in the higher ranks it's a little bit different, but even if I don't have a great healers on my side, then I'm able just to survive on my own because, well, I know deep down in my heart that I can pump out a lot of damage, which I do because I focus the tanks. That's my job. That's what I'm supposed to do. I'm not supposed to be really getting the Pharah. If I see the Mercy, of course, I'm going to go for her because, well, I'm able just to body her. And also the ultimate, just a quick little tip, if you see the Mercy and D.Va's out of mech, use your ult right there because you're just going to be able to instantly team wipe people, which you probably saw throughout the whole entire video. And that is why I love Reaper because he can sustain himself, he's able just to get team wipes, and he's so fun to use. So that's just a quick little video I wanted to talk about. And yeah, that's all I have to say for Reaper. I love that man. So I love you guys. Thank you guys for watching. Let me know what you think about the new Reaper buff, and bye.